1 minute, Jay.
So 1 minute left.
Look at those rockets. Oh, wow. Attention. It's firing up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 45 seconds, yo.
That's cool. 43, 42.
April 2026.
April 1st.
2026.
At 6:35 p.m.
Yep.
25.
Oh my
wow.
God.
20 seconds.
20. 15.
There we go.
10.
You hear it?
10.
Go for core stage engine start.
Wow.
Oh, it's launching. Wow.
That's so cool.
Oh, what happened? Oh,
Wow.
it launched. It launched. Look.
It launched.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Damn.
Wow.
You know how fast that's going? Like
17,000 miles an hour.
Oh, man. Damn. I don't like that sound.
Maybe it's just a broadcast. Wow.
Well, I think it made it to the atmosphere.
Oh, it made it.
Integrity through max Q on. Pump start on. Have you the same?
Imagine being in that space shuttle. Oh, what happened? It disappeared? Went into space?
Most likely.
You don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
Oh, I see
Oh,
it.
it's still a little bit. Damn, it's cool. It's going. Oh my God.
It's going
You still
fast.
see the fire.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Damn. People on their phones, they can't record that far already.
Well, they can with the iPhone 17.
What happened there? That's it? Went into space?
Yeah.
Oh look, it's in space already. Look.
They made it.
Upper stage RCS ready.
They're outside the Earth.
Wow.
If you are joining our special coverage right now of NBC News of the Artemis II launch, you have just witnessed history with all of us and all of America that is watching. Guys, what an incredible moment. At first, you see that ball of fire. It takes a second, then you hear it, and then lift off, and you feel it. And guys, a reason to look up right now. Just a reason to look up, and cheers from everyone here at Kennedy Space Center. And incredible, but something very important just happened. We saw the two rockets, right? They detached, Tom, and we're waiting on another critical moment in just a few minutes.
That's right, so keep your eyes on that clock right now. I'm looking over my shoulder. We're at 3:13 into flight. We're going to wait for 8:06. That's going to be with the core stage. We have main engine cutoff. And as I said earlier, I always hold my breath until we have that, but they are off to a great start. While we are cheering here on the ground, and literally the building is shaking. In typical NASA speak, they're understated. All systems nominal. That means it's all great.
Yeah, business as usual. The skies over Florida, the skies then over Georgia and beyond. Seeing Artemis and this integrity capsule enter space. Steve, at this point right now, what are the astronauts doing inside the capsule? Holding on?
You expect me to have words right now?
You've been to space. You've been to space,
And that's why.
and it still gets you.
Of course it does. Yeah. Anybody who's been to space would find that to be just
Imagine what those astronauts feel. Oh, what happened? What happened?
So
Wait, what was
the crew
that?
is enjoying themselves right now. They're watching their systems. They're feeling
Looks like it
the
blew
pressure.
up.
Yeah.
It's very rough on the solid rock.
It was a little light.
Until they come off, and now it's a smooth, accelerating run.
Al, it was incredible, right? Clear blue skies, and you could just see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Lift off from Earth and just shake us.
but the flame, it's one of those things that television, no matter what you watch, you know, our crews are terrific and the technology, but to see that flame in person, it's brighter than anything I've ever looked at with my naked eye.
Mission time, so 4 minutes until they get to space. It's still not.
It's on the
It's still not-
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Power of it. I mean, does it look different? Does it sound
It's
any
crazy,
different?
right?
I would say
Yeah.
it feels different. You know, because the truth is the Saturn V rocket, I wasn't here for that, but that's actually taller, but this is more powerful. Yeah. And literally, it shook the building here. Good comms, that's critical. They reported all good comms. You don't want to be going up into space with bad comms. The other important note here is that Reed Weissman told Houston it was a great view.
You love to hear that. And speaking of views, Tom, what are we looking at right now? Do we know some of these angles that NASA's providing here? What is this here? Is this the back of the SLS? Do we know?
So we are going to
Pretty
be
cool,
getting
right,
multiple
Jamie?
camera views. They're taking a page from SpaceX, which puts a camera on everything.
Right.
So NASA is now putting a camera on everything, and we are going to get the views. And I can't quite tell what that is, but we're going to be getting views from literally watching main engine cut off.
Like to
Again,
give
that's
you
going to
guys
happen
vitamins.
at, where are we at? 5:36. We got 4 good engines right now. At 8:06 in, we'll have main engine cut off, and then you will eventually, we expect, see the separation. Eventually, that's going to be the next main issue that we watch for very closely. Core stage separation at about 8:18.
So we're about 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes, Steve, from that. How complicated is that process? Because I don't want to say that's a little peekaboo here because we just saw an incredible thing happen, but it's so critical.
It is very critical. It's so critical that they've made it as simple as possible. To have as few failure modes as you could have. The other interesting point here, Tom, is that they're not physically doing anything other than just sitting back and watching. This is all automated control from the ground. They have a joystick or a command stick, if you will. They can talk about the thrust and the roll, but for the most part, they don't need to. This is all automated.
And this is a shutdown just we have right now showing our viewers here a visualization of what was going on there. And I'm going to ask the control room, that's the visualization of what the separation would look like. I think this is inside NASA as well.
You're looking out of the launch control room right there.
As they were looking right a little bit after takeoff, and actually this might be right now. We're seeing the kind of the same image over our heads as well. As we wait for this critical moment in about less than 2 minutes, which is the separation. And from that moment, Tom, that's when sort of the real business, and again, what we just saw was incredible, but the real business into space starts, the journey around the Earth, because it's not directly to the moon, it's around the Earth,
That's correct.
and then around the moon.
That's right. And so they're going to spend, as I said, 24 hours in a high apogee, if you will, a high orbit around the Earth. Essentially, they want to create a huge elliptical loop, if I'm using the right term. Steve is going to correct me. That's going to put them in a huge loop around the moon. And then that allows them to go further. It allows them to go farther than any humans ever. So this is all about.
Wait, so what about the 1969 moon
So good.
landing?
So again, 8:06, we're going to see the core stage separate from the engine, and then we'll watch as Orion, once it's in orbit, they're going to deploy their solar arrays. That gives them power that they need.
And then, Tom, the rockets, as they break off, they fall into the Atlantic.
Yep.
You know, we fall into the Atlantic. Yep. And then this other piece, the other piece that just is going to separate now, that also falls straight into the Atlantic. Okay.
In some ways, this is harkening back to the old days of Apollo, right? You know, SpaceX reuses some of their pieces,
Which is incredible technology. It's
Amazing.
like with a game changer. Yeah.
amazing. But that's not what this is about. They're going to be dropping, and they have dropped their SRBs, and then they're going to be also eventually dropping that core.
And it's right here. If we can watch this live right here.
Here we go.
Let's see what's happening. Actually, let's listen in.
Nominal main engine cut off, so the 425s have done their job. Now we've got stage separation from the core. That looks smooth as can be. It's just beautiful. And how wonderful to actually see that on video.
Yeah, and
in real time.
since we're outside the NASA building, we hear the cheers about a second before we actually see them. They're a little bit ahead of us, but again, cheers for what we just witnessed there. It was a very quick shot, but you could see, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, is it the capsule that's coming off?
Or
what
the
exactly
detach.
is coming out?
Ah.
The service module.
Okay.
And leaving the core stage that had all fuel tanks in it.
And then part of the reason to circle the Earth before they head on their way to the moon is to make sure that the capsule is working, that everything is, they can navigate, that they can drive this, that everything is working in perfect order.
Yeah, it's like going camping in your backyard before you go to Everest.
Just making sure everything works there. NASA's providing these visualizations, which this is not obviously what's happening right now, but these are ideas of what's happening, so we can sort of understand this is what it's going to look like right now.
Yeah, listen, I think that we are watching the latest cutting-edge technology at play. I mean, this is truly America at the cutting edge here. And I think it's important and relevant to take a moment and say, wow, we should be collectively, not as Americans, not as North Americans, but just as humans, proud of the achievement here, that humans have been able to do this. And we're about to go even further than ever before. It's exactly what they hoped for, setting the stage to eventually put humans on the moon.
And now, in your interviews, I know when you spoke to the crew, they thought their
What
goal,
did you
their
just say?
ultimate goal was that
They're gonna put humans on the moon.
Exactly. Because,
Wasn't that did that supposedly happen already in '69?
This is about what we can
No,
do.
they're talking about
how we can stretch
they're
those
hoping to
outer
put
limits,
humans on the
what
moon.
we can discover. as
Somebody
we get
messed
ready
up at the
to
news
make that
channel.
landing on the moon.
And
They
the whole- I think
expose
one of the
everything.
things that they said they would be happy if the next interview is with the next Artemis crew,
Yeah.
and they want this just to keep going.
They almost want to be forgotten. They want to make their mark.
I'd bet like $100 that nobody caught that.
Because they're going to go even further.
They're gonna erase it. Good thing you recorded it.
Apollo 10.
Yep, live footage here.
We remember Apollo 11, right? But Apollo 10 set the stage for Apollo 11.
Ryan Chandler is with space fans out there witnessing this moment in history. Ryan, what was it like to watch from your vantage point there at the beach?
For PWD test, just a reminder that halfway open on the secondary.
Can you hear Ryan?
Well, Ryan is speechless.
No, I
from what
can't hear
understand
Ryan.
right now. Ryan, I don't know if Ryan can hear us. The astronauts are
I
here
think
now.
they're dialing me in.
We're still, yeah, we're gonna try to get Ryan. It's live TV.
They're dialing
Folks, and they're dialing back. We need a
That it was
launch
fake.
I think, but we're good to go.
But you know, I think the other thing
Somebody
about
messed
this
up.
is that they are testing new things, including a brand new toilet.
Yeah,
Which is very important, you know?
And I heard it's very cramped, from what I understand.
But you know, the toilet, everybody kind of jokes at that. But you know, would you want to go to the moon without a working toilet?
Yeah,
It's a brand new technology. They want to make sure that works. They got a new water system they want to work. Brand new telemetry, brand new comms, a brand new deep space comms network. So there's an awful lot to test drive here before they send humans to the surface.
Jeremy Hansen, the Canadian who's on board this mission, said it's his first time in space. He hopes not to annoy his fellow astronauts because he's never really floated before. And he says that I'm sure he's so big it's going to get kind of annoying at first, but they'll get used to it. How hard is it once you're there and you're weightless?
Oh, you're very annoying. Yeah. I bumped into everybody. But I have a special note of pride about Jeremy because I come from a Canadian family too. So.
Oh, that's great. You can. I mean, what is it like? This moment like for Canada?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? There have been very few Canadian astronauts. Every one of them.
Imagine
is
how the
super special.
astronauts
I've
felt.
known most of them. And Jeremy's an amazing guy. And can you imagine this being your first mission ever? Just what a wonderful guy. And he's representing an entire country. That section of humanity is very, very proud of him. And I am too.
And timing is everything in life, and what a great time for Canada and the U.S. to come together in a mission like this, and in a moment like this when the world is watching. I think we do have Ryan Chandler now.
That's cool.
Systems are a go, from what I understand. Ryan, talk to us about what the space watchers out there are saying.
Tom, that was one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen, but the most interesting thing to me was not even looking at the rocket. It was looking this way at people's faces and seeing that raw reaction. So many people here, this is the first time they'd ever seen that in their life. It's seeing the mom embrace her kid and say, look, anything is possible. It's people looking up and realizing what this means, not just for the United States, but for the world and for humanity. And Tom, if I may, I know we have a great team of experts that we've been talking to all day. I found one of my own on the ground here. This is Mr. Adrian. Thanks for helping us out. What did you think when you looked up to the stars and saw that launch today?
It was so incredible. It's like my first time seeing this, waiting for such a long time.
And you know a lot about this mission. What does this mean? What were you looking for when this launch happened?
Like, something really important is it's like so brave of the astronauts that wanted to go there. Like, they never denied it. They just went like this, and they just said, we just go.
And you want to be one of them one day. All right, we'll see you on Mars. Adrian, thank you so much, sir.
He'll probably be on Mars.
That really makes the difference.
Yeah, little Adrian there. So many
Or
little
maybe
Adrians
the
all around this
moon.
country will never forget this moment. Tom, you were just sending me a note here. You're getting text messages from friends in Canada as well who are watching this and just in awe.
And they're watching. I told them, watch NBC News. Don't watch the Canadian broadcasting. So to Joe, my good friend, to Jacinta, my good friend, to others, they have been watching and they are so proud of this moment. So proud to see Canada step forward. But in typical Canada nice fashion, Jeremy is the most unassuming, nice, easygoing guy, and they're proud of that.
Right.
That he represents the best of them.
You know, it's incredible because at this time we have multiple wars that are happening across the world right now. We hope this is a moment that the world can get around. That's what the astronauts wanted. You wonder if something like this, and obviously we're in the moment right now, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We live in a different era than the 60s and 70s, as you guys know. But the big question is, can the world and can the U.S. get around this moonshot? And will it motivate and maybe lead to more space travel and maybe more investments into space?
Well, I think what's going the thing about when Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon, I was 15. I was watching with my family around a Sears Roebuck television, and it brought everybody together, and it ignited a can-do spirit that we can do these things. And I think with this crew, whether you're a Canadian,
And why was
whether
that the
you're
only time?
a person of color, whether you're a woman, whether you're anybody,
Yeah.
you see some of yourself in this group, and that's going to spur that interest, that desire to move forward.
Yeah, Tom, as we watch and all of the moments that happened earlier when this thing took off, Artemis II, so incredible. An important moment's going to happen in about 3 hours, right? 3 hours from now, we have sort of a critical point in this entire mission when all eyes will be on what happens and Orion. What happens there? Explain what you're.
The Orion separates, and then it is truly on its own. And that's the point where we start seeing the proximity operations demonstrating their capability in that spaceship. This is the most advanced, well, one of the most advanced spaceships ever built, right? I don't want to speak for what SpaceX has got going. They've had an incredibly successful pattern already. But you're talking about the most advanced spaceship that has never had humans in it before. It had a great, successful, unmanned, uncrewed mission, test flight. But just to be clear, that return was a problem. You can recall.
And the 5,000 degrees.
That's right.
A heat shield issue.
Yeah, they had more burning and charring on the heat shield on re-entry than they're comfortable with. That really caused them to go back and do a big, in places, redesign and really question whether this is the right design for the ship. And everybody is still very much holding their breath and hoping and praying that heat shield holds on re-entry. And for the most part, NASA is absolutely confident that it will. Now, there's some high-profile previous astronauts who are concerned about it. They've raised that concern. We've had that on NBC Nightly News. But the majority of the engineers at NASA and the NASA leaderships believe that it will be safe and the crew will be safe on re-entry.
All right, Steve, as we wait for that moment 3 hours from now, talk to spot inside the Orion capsule right now. Are the astronauts talking amongst themselves? Are they talking back to
We'll see what happens to the astronauts.
They're really busy. They're brand new thing. They're looking at all the systems, make sure is that pressure right, is that temperature right? Do we expect that valve to open, then make our preparations for the separation from the ICPS and actually drive the Orion with the European service module around, flip it around, and actually do simulated dockings. Only a few hours after launch. That's an amazing thing to ask the crew to do, and I know they're excited.
And I know on this first day and this first night, they had to stay up for a long time, right? They almost had, I think at some point had to take a quick nap just to stay up longer because of what's happening and the importance of everything. Everyone has to be alert and awake.
How could you sleep?
How could you?
After that. So, but I think they'll be pretty fatigued, and if things have gone so well, they'll actually be able to sleep okay.
Yeah, we saw a quick shot of inside NASA, and you know, we have to talk about those teams there because we talk about the astronauts and their families and their friends, but I mean those teams from NASA as well working on this to every aspect, from the arithmetic to the building to everything, to thinking about what's the next goal.
I worked in mission control for about 15 years and worked with lots and lots of missions, both ISS and lots of shuttle missions. And I saw how dedicated and smart these people are, but it's not just the individual people, it's the way they're linked together into kind of a super brain. And that's what's happening in mission control.
It looks like we're close to, or either getting to the point where the Orion solar arrays deploy. Steve, what exactly does that mean in layman's terms?
Well, you know, we know what solar panels do, right? And that's exactly what's essential for this this vehicle. So the capsule is that little gumdrop thing, and then there's a cylinder below it, and that cylinder is the surface module. It provides power and also water and oxygen, nitrogen for the capsule itself. And that power is going to come from the sun, so we need those solar arrays.
So an important and a critical part of what's happening right now, the solar arrays deploying, and we think, Tom, we think that's just happened or it's about to happen.
Right this very minute. Let's listen open.
Yep, let's listen in.
Give us just 1 minute. Stand, you can read it like this ready to go.
Roger, keep your same over east to west, expected 1 second earlier at 5:1 minutes, 26 seconds.
Okay, bottom line is we're at that point right now when the solar arrays are deployed, assuming that that goes as planned, nominally, as NASA likes to say.
For 5126, TUC still west, and
That's 500.
We will then be
You're
waiting
508 miles away from the
This is going
Earth.
to be at 49 minutes into the mission.
Yeah.
40, sorry, I've got trying
They
to
still
listen
have
in
over
at the same
200
time.
miles left to go to
49
the
minutes
moon.
into the mission then, that is when we will
They're
see
not too far
Orion
away.
in its safe orbit.
But so far, Tom, just to put a point on this, so far everything has been great. It's been good. Systems are a go. We could witness a historic launch.
Couldn't ask for a better day, better mission. It's been perfect.
All right, Tom, we thank you. That's going to conclude this NBC News special report for the launch of the Artemis II mission. We'll have much more coverage ahead on our streaming network, NBC News Now, and online at NBCNews.com. I'm Tom Yamas from the Kennedy Space Center. We thank you so much for watching.
Oh, wow.